here in the chapel of the Bible school, and here on this property that the Lord blessed them with, they've got 4 ministries that have joined together to really try to reach the country with the gospel. One of them is the part-time Philadelphia Bible School, where there's about 80 students who may not be able to give full-time to the full-time Bible school, but have some time on the weekends and to do studies and to learn how to minister in a better way. So they have that going on here. They've got, of course, the full-time Bible school, the Gospel Mission School, where students will come and give a full year of their life and spend time in intense discipleship and evangelism training and living in community with one another and a lot of one-on-one mentoring. And the second year, they can be a part of going into the practical ministry. So some of them will serve in different areas here in the country where it's needed, and others will serve actually in other countries. There's a couple that I met again yesterday that I'd known from 2 years ago who are preparing to go to Russia. And so the Lord is sending people not only to Holland to minister here in the country, but other countries as well. And it's really exciting to see what the Lord's doing. The Heart for the Family ministry is also headquartered here, part of the ministry. And they have a heart to reach singles, couples, married couples, men and women, and doing ministry within families. And so they set up events to do equipping and training, but also things like camps for fathers and sons and meetings like that to bring the families together and show them what a Christian family looks like. And then there's also a new ministry called Heart for the Congregation, which is basically a church health ministry. And yesterday, in this chapel where I'm standing, there was almost 140 people here, a lot of them full-time ministers who came for a full conference just to hear about how, as ministers, we need to keep our hearts and inside world healthy in order for our public ministries to be healthy. And so I opened up the conference with a message tied to my testimony, where I shared what I've learned through my time in the ministry and some of my failures of how the Lord, I described what was going on in my heart at these times when I made these decisions that led me to the path that I have and how the Lord brought me out. And so I think it really impacted people. A lot of people were really grateful for what I shared. Also, there's a brother named Neil who's been a pastor here in the country for over 30 years, and he shared about how to signs to warn you when you're in the danger zone as a minister and what you need to do to protect your heart. There's a brother named Oscar who's an evangelist. He and his wife were interviewed, and they shared their testimony of how they've been able to maintain their marriage and stay healthy and some of the things that they've battled through. And then we ended it with a question and answer panel where we addressed questions people had in the conference. And so a lot of great feedback. Heard just a few amazing testimonies of how people really had an impactful time, and it dramatically impacted their hearts, and just some really great things that have been happening. And so really glad for the Lord for how He used that event. It's really exciting to see what the Lord's doing here as He's ministering to ministers so that they can go back to their congregations and ministries and have renewed power and anointing and strength. So I'm here with my friend, Brother Martin. He's at the Bible school. He's one of the leaders. I got to know him last time I was here. And we're with some friends that I met at the Pure Life Conference actually 3 years ago, Peter and Herdina and their family, their 2 kids. And we're traveling to their hometown, which is a town called Urk. And it's really interesting. If you didn't know, Holland is the #1 country for water maintenance because they've had lots of water issues with flooding, and so the windmills that are real popular were actually made to pump water out, and now they have modern day water systems and dikes. And actually I was told that New Orleans actually reached out to Holland, and they're helping them with their dike system to prevent what happened a few years ago with Hurricane Katrina. So this island started off like Alcatraz. They used to send their prisoners there, and used to be an island, but the Dutch people have a system for removing the sea, essentially, and so they actually have a word in Dutch, which is, what's the word for that?
Polder.
Polder, which actually means land that used to be sea. And so where Peter and Herdina live, there's a whole apartment complex of houses, lots of houses, and it looks just like a normal place, but actually it used to be, back in the 1920s, around there, they started pumping out water and turning it into land. So it's a really interesting part of the culture here, and we're going to see this island, previous island, and it's going to be a place where there's it's a fisherman village, and so just really looking forward. I've heard a lot about this place last time I was here, last couple years, and so really interested to see just some of the sights and some of the culture and enjoy the fellowship of my brother.